it's oh no, never mind. It's not 36 minutes. It's not 36 minutes.
No, did you put something stupid? You put something stupid at the end.
26.
You put
26.
26 minutes.
10-minute thing at the end. Love it.
You put something stupid at the end.
Okay, you guys ready?
I'll be ready.
Okay.
Born ready.
This is your forecast then.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. That time of the week.
Best time of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite time of the week. It's
Favorite
not close.
time. Favorite
Yes,
time.
sir.
For sure.
So what's the news though?
Well, we got two big things. I want to start with the bigger thing. Darren Waller announced his retirement.
Okay.
That's a big deal. You know, the Daniel Bellinger shares are going crazy right now. I mean, that's what
Is it him or
everybody's
Theo Johnson?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I think that's
I'm not picking either of them.
I don't think it matters. The real news is Christian McCaffrey's big boy extension. The 2 years, $38 million, 19 per, ties him up the highest paid running back in football for, I think he's under contract for 4 years now, including this coming season.
Let's go.
Is that Dynasty RB1? 4 years
yeah.
for the Niners? I mean, you got to take him over Bijan and Gibbs now, right?
Oh, as far as
I don't know.
that's tough.
That is tough, right?
Because he's
I think
already
it's
a
in
little
the
bit
question
older.
now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I can't question it if somebody goes
Yeah.
really high with him. So
Yeah, I mean, 1 year of McCaffrey is worth a lot, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And we talked about this last week too. Is the closer it gets to the regular season, the more that the running back won.
Right.
It's going to go
Yep, the
a
price
little bit
is
higher.
for sure.
People aren't going to be worried that he's 26 years old or however old.
Yeah,
he
when they
is.
see he scores 26 points per game,
Yeah.
they're not going to care.
yeah,
But that's about it for news.
still waiting for all the fun stuff,
Yep, for sure.
the preseason and all that.
Yep,
I guess
still a
there's
lot to
got
come.
Camps and stuff like
Yeah, camps are just kind of heating up, so
yeah.
we're getting into it.
Can't come sooner.
Need more news. Definitely need more news coming our ways.
We can learn a lot from the news, but we can also learn a lot from the past.
I like that.
So
That was wise.
That was awesome.
It was incredibly wise.
You're really good at this.
which brings me to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady,
Tom. The GOAT?
the GOAT.
Yes. Who is this generation's Tom Brady?
I don't think you can go anybody else but Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's got to be Pat.
I think there's people that have comparable play styles and stuff like that, and even Patrick Mahomes didn't have the exact play style as Tom Brady, but like he's gonna be the GOAT if he plays like as long as Tom Brady or whatever. He's comparable to the GOAT.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at this rate, play styles aren't exactly similar, but even for the first half of Brady's career, it was a conversation about who the best was, and there was people who preferred Peyton Manning for a while. I mean, if you prefer Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or anybody like that over Pat Mahomes right now, I just don't think you really have a strong case.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's on pace for some crazy stuff.
I guess year to year he can go and fluctuate, but as for the greatest of all time,
I don't know. For me, it's got to be like
here comes Brock Purdy.
it's got to be somebody that's like drafted late and
You love the
like
story.
overlooked in the draft. Maybe comes in because of an injury
Yeah, I mean,
and then doesn't stop winning.
yeah, well,
And
yeah.
everybody says he's a system QB. It's all because of the coach.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah, I mean, if you want
guys
to go
know
that way
anybody
with
like
it,
this?
Yeah, we know where this is going.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
I'm going
happy about
Mahomes.
yeah. Despite, yeah. Hey, I mean, that's kind of the same situation. He fell to, pick like 13?
But all the way to midway of
Had
the
to back
first
up
round.
Alex Smith for a whole season.
Oh,
You did
that
throw me
hurts.
off because I was like, dude, that actually kind of makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's
I'm
funny.
like,
If I had more balls, I probably would have done it, but
yeah,
I don't hate it.
no balls.
yeah. Were you just gonna go Patrick Mahomes?
It's
for
got
that?
to be Pat. For me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll with Pat on that
Yeah.
because
Everybody likes Pat. Well,
everybody except for the haters loves Pat.
You got me all messed up, dude. Whenever you.
Who's the next Brett Favre?
Whew.
You want me to start with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah,
hear your
you're
take.
the
I like
oldest,
that.
so it makes sense.
I'm going Baker Mayfield in this one. He's got the same sort of vibe that Favre always had.
You're gonna
That's
love
a
this.
good old boy.
I like that.
I don't think he's quite as talented, but
The
He
vibes
doesn't-
are there.
Yeah.
He's got that same mentality. And he doesn't always unbuckle his chin strap after every play. But I could see him sending a dick pic to an underage girl once he retires.
Soft dick pic.
Was it an underage girl? I didn't realize that. I thought it was
Maybe I'm
just some
spreading this-
cheerleaders or something like that.
Well, I'll say this: Favre's gotten himself into a whole lot of crap after his NFL career. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I went with somebody a little bit different than you did. I went with Matt Stafford. You know, he has that championship pedigree to him now. He won that chip. Favre got, one with Green Bay? That was it, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a whole lot of playoff moments that I can remember growing up, just watching Favre crumble in those moments. But he was also superhuman in those moments as well. Like, you never knew what you were going to get out of it. And I feel the same way watching Stafford, because when Stafford's on, he's cooking.
Yeah.
So that's where I went with
Yeah.
it.
That's a good call. I think it's awesome that you went with Baker Mayfield and you're like, yeah, his personality, because I kind of went the same way, but I'm going with Deshaun Watson because it just seems like they both play really well, but they both just like have some off field issues and stuff like that, like just drama.
Some drama they have
trade
no
to different
business being in.
teams and sending dick pics to cheerleaders or whatever, trying to get with the Jets cheerleader. I don't even remember what it was, but it just kind of seems like they both have that same.
I like that.
thing going on.
But everybody loved Brett Favre, though.
People did love Brett Favre.
I think that was after when he started doing the Dickies commercials.
Yeah, I was just saying, maybe the Wrangler jeans or
Yeah.
whatever really,
Yeah, or whatever it was.
I could really get people going.
All right, what about Eli Manning? Who's the next Eli?
Oh, man. I mean, I guess I can start with this one. So, as a Washington fan, even though I got the Mike Evans jersey on, Washington fan, big time Eli hater over here. There's one more guy I don't really like. That's Jordan Love. And that's who I'm going to compare the new age Eli to. And I think it's because they're going to be successful in their career, but more so because of the situations around them. Obviously, Eli won 2 Super Bowls, so you can't really hate on that. That's more than anything Washington did in my life. But it was on the back of some strong defenses and some talented players around him. And I think Jordan Love's in that same kind of situation where he has all the talent in the world around him, and it could really prop him up the next few years.
Also, a really good defense,
Yeah.
which was where I was kind of thinking with Eli Manning. I feel like he wasn't really the best quarterback. He didn't like outperform like what a lot of guys do. They put the team on their back to win a Super Bowl. I feel like again he just used his guys, and that's where I think Gardner Minshew is kind of like comparable with that, where he kind of just lets his guys play ball and they kind of do the rest. The defense does a lot of the work, like when Minshew came in for the Eagles or whenever he came in with the Colts. The defense did a lot of the work where Eli did the same thing.
Just throws it up and lets the guy catch it with his helmet.
I mean, hey, yeah.
Just lets him do that.
However you catch it. Yeah.
So who did Eli play for his whole career?
Yeah,
Giants.
Daniel Jones also plays for the Giants. So they also.
that is comparable.
He's
There's-
quite derpy, just like Eli.
Yeah,
That's my next point was they both, when they're shown on TV, always look confused. Always.
You know, I wonder why that is for Daniel Jones. Why he looks so confused out there.
Because he learned from Eli. That's why. It could be that he's legitimately confused, though.
Brian Daboll's probably like in the locker room, like, Eli, please don't show up next week. I need him to learn something new.
That's funny.
I will say this about Eli: clutch. I can't take away the clutch factor.
He's
You win 2
clutch.
Super Bowls, made some great plays. Definitely a clutch guy.
Yeah.
It was him and Nick Foles were the only QBs to beat Tom Brady in the
Yep.
Super Bowl. So
Absolutely.
Sure.
next is Alex Smith, who never won any Super Bowls.
Poor guy.
Mm.
A lot of winning teams, though. There's
I
a lot of winning teams.
I don't want to start after you just said didn't win any Super Bowls. Because
Did you
my-
pick somebody that won a Super Bowl?
No, because my comp, and you might not agree, but it's Jalen Hurts, and maybe not last year Jalen Hurts, but the year before that, the dude didn't make mistakes, and I feel like that's what Alex Smith doesn't do. Is that he does what he's supposed to do. He doesn't make mistakes. He has high completion percentages, not a lot of picks. That's why I like Hurts for that. Though don't play like each other at all.
Where I would disagree with that is that Hurts does. You can see he's strong arm, really fast. He's got a lot of ability. He might be more cautious
Maybe, but
because of coaching.
I mean, if you're in the NFL and you're a quarterback, you can throw the ball. Like,
No, what I'm saying is compared to the guy that I'm picking.
Taylor
is
Heineke
Derek-
disagrees.
So I'm going with Derek Carr on this one because he doesn't really have. He's got the similar ability to Alex Smith too, and he's just a dink and dunker, and dink and dunker. That is kind of funny when you say it.
Yeah, but that's the truth about Alex Smith.
Yeah.
For the most part, he's just taking the high percentage plays, and that's why I kind of like where we all went. I feel like we were all over the scale here, and I'm gonna kind of separate the difference here because I went with your boy Brock Purdy here. Hyper efficient, always taking what the defense gives, plays winning football nonstop. I don't think being a system quarterback is bad. I think it means you can be plugged into a system and operate it to its best capabilities.
Yeah.
And I think that Alex Smith proved that he could do that, and I think Brock Purdy is in the same mold, in my opinion.
I think if Alex Smith had the same people as Brock Purdy, I think he would do.
Oh,
really
yeah.
similar.
Alex Smith was just a year or two too late to really catapult that,
Yeah.
Chiefs surrounding cast with Tyreek Hill growing into his own. And
Right.
Oh, by the way, Alex Smith already played for the 49ers, and he didn't do not even
He
close
shouldn't
to
have got
the
benched.
here's what I'll say. Alex Smith got a concussion, and Colin Kaepernick never looked back.
Oh, skip this one.
Oh, okay. I'll skip this one.
Quick skip. Never happened.
Didn't happen. There we go. Perfect.
Fitz
time.
Magic. Who's the next Fitz Magic? This is a fun one.
This
This is a fun one.
I wish there was more Fitz Magics in the world, but there is only.
There
one.
isn't. There's not really many guys like him, but
There is Conor McGregor.
He does. Yeah, he does.
there's
look
not
like
much closer, right?
So my guy, I went with Baker Mayfield. I feel like he has the same type of path in the NFL as him, where he's bouncing around from teams, and you kind of just say like, why doesn't this guy have a big contract? And like he kind of plays the same way, he throws the ball up to his receivers like he did to Mike Evans this year, and just lets them play.
Well, he did just get a contract though.
It wasn't big though, I don't think.
Who's that,
Pretty
Baker?
Pretty
Yeah.
big.
Baker's like 3
30
years,
million?
90 mil or something like that.
3 years? Come on.
3 years, 90 mil? That's
Ryan
decent.
Fitzpatrick had the same thing where he went in like
When he
I
went
think
to
with
Buffalo.
I don't disagree
yeah,
with
He
the
went to
comp.
Buffalo, yeah.
Necessarily. I went a little different though. I went with Kirk Cousins, and that's because when you look at Kirk Cousins, when he has talent, like a superior talent, he hyper targets that guy, and the offense is just surrounded by them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Fitzpatrick's years when he had talent, like you said, when he had Mike Evans way back in the day, when he had Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker for the Jets, there was years in Buffalo before when he didn't even have real talent. He was throwing for high 3,800, 3,900 yards, making the most and just playing winning football. And I think that's kind of how Kirk plays, and it's he's not scared to let it rip.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with Gardner Minshew. To me, it was obvious. That was the obvious one.
Oh yeah,
think
I
so,
agree
too,
with that.
yeah.
It is the obvious one. The vibes are just off the charts for Gardner Minshew as well.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys
He's
just
got
they
the
click.
mustache going on.
Instant fan favorites, man. You can't have that mullet and wear them short jean shorts and not be a fan favorite. You know, I mean, that's just what the people want.
Yeah.
And he's already on his third team.
Yeah.
He's on his way to Fitzpatrick's been on half the teams.
Yeah.
And at his current pace, he's gonna break that record. Whatever.
I think Gardner's gonna stick
I
around.
don't
with me
think
for a while.
is he the one that's something?
He's at 15 teams, 16, 17, somewhere in that. It's just about half the league.
Okay, what about Jay Cutler?
There is no one like Jay Cutler.
Smoking
And
Jay.
another guy.
There's nobody who cares less about winning football games than Jay Cutler. But at the same time, he's going to do everything in his power to make the coolest shit happen. And now I went with the higher end of Jay Cutler here because Jay Cutler's never this talented. But I actually went with Joe Burrow here. Because I think my boy Joe loves to let it rip, man. And he forgets about it instantly. Jay Cutler did not care that he just threw a pick. He's going to throw it right back at you.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow, I mean, he has the receivers there that he just does that. He trusts in them and says, all right, I'm throwing this deep because I got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah. Yep. Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with another Ohio quarterback. I'm interrupting you.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm going with another Ohio quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Just like Jay Cutler, nobody likes him.
That's fair, man. People hated Jay Cutler when he was playing.
Yeah.
Hated him.
And I think he's very comparable to couldn't care less about winning football games.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Watson's made that clear. He does not care.
Yeah. No, I went with Joe Burrow too. All I can think of is that picture of Joe Burrow just smoking a cigarette after on LSU or whatever. I'm just like, that's just Jay Cutler reincarnated. So I went with the same route with him because he just has that vibe to it. That's all it is.
Jay Cutler, definitely somebody I feel like we look back on really fond. like as
Yeah.
just NFL fans.
Yeah.
But at the time, everybody was like, "Oh, Jay Cutler sucks."
I like him a
He's
lot
not-
better because I watched that, or well, Brooke watched that one show with his ex-wife.
Ah,
There was
gotcha.
a,
Yeah.
He was always doing some goofy shit. He was,
Oh yeah, dude.
dude, he's definitely a lot cooler when you actually watch him than what he was portrayed
Right,
on
for
TV
sure.
and shit.
Yeah, I agree.
And crap, I mean. Okay, who's Donovan McNabb?
We should let the Eagles fan lead on the McNabb
Oh, yeah.
comparison.
Definitely.
well, now that you say it like that, I feel like I shouldn't pick Dak Prescott.
Had to pick
But-
a black guy.
But
Whoa.
okay, that was out of nowhere. Dak Prescott folds under pressure the same way Donovan McNabb. Though I will say, I think they kind of get skewed a little bit because Donovan McNabb still played decent in the playoffs, same way Dak Prescott kind of does. But I think that's the biggest thing is I'm just so butthurt about Donovan McNabb never doing anything with all the teams that we could have been, winning the Super Bowl.
He
But
never had any good receivers, though.
D-Jax.
Yeah, Terrell Owens for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I was
I'll take
even
that.
They almost won it.
Yeah, that's 04, right?
I don't know.
I want to say that's
I
04
was
when they
10
had
years
his
old.
McNabb's best year. And because of that, that's kind of where I went with my comparison. I went with Tua. And that's because if you look at, obviously, different systems, different coaches,
Had to
different
go
talent and
back.
stuff, but all right. But the numbers with
I don't think
Tyreek
he-
Hill on the field and off the field
He's
are...
not.
I know. We know he's not black.
Why did you say
I don't know
he
what
was?
Tua is. What I know he does is he puts
I
up
think he's a
yards
lion.
and he puts up numbers when he has a mega elite option like Tyreek Hill.
Mhm.
And we've seen that, and we've seen him without it. And it was a little bit more pedestrian, kind of like McNabb before and after T.O. and then his time in Washington. I should have picked somebody way worse than Tua if I just wanted to base it off how I felt about McNabb in Washington.
Yeah.
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 Well, I didn't want to. I got to pick a white guy, so I'm picking Herbert, Justin Herbert.
I don't hate that comparison
They
either.
both, neither of them win, really, in the end.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I think people think the name is way better than what the results have been so far.
Yeah. True.
And I love Herbert.
Yeah. Well, they were both good quarterbacks.
Yeah, for
in the
sure.
regular season.
also good. Also, Tony Romo was good in the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was great.
What team did he play for?
Beat
His
the,
whole career.
the
Okay,
Dallas
right.
Cowboys.
Is that
So
it?
did Dak Prescott
So far. So far.
so far. So that's what I'm going with on this one.
And they're both black.
Actually, Dak
Tony
Prescott,
Romo is the whitest man to have ever existed.
Dak
Yeah.
Prescott is the black Kirk Cousins.
I've heard that.
Yeah. That's
I've heard
who
rumors
said-
about that.
who
Amari
said
Cooper
that?
called him
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's insane. I can't
That's
believe
funny.
that.
How did somebody? Well, I was gonna ask how somebody get away with saying that, but he didn't because he's in Cleveland now. So
Yeah, he did not get away with it. He got sent to play with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna summarize real quick. They both win and put up stats, but they can't win in the.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's a fair comparison. I went with C.J. Stroud because the nightmares I've had with Tony Romo over the last 20 years are very high, and I feel like for teams in the same division as C.J. Stroud, that's kind of what's coming. You know, it's just he's going to pepper you with yards. He's going to break records against you. His IQ is just off the charts. I mean, these are guys who just pick apart defenses. At least what we've seen so far from Stroud in the NFL. It gives me the exact same vibe. 3rd and 15, guess what? He's picking it up every time.
Somehow.
I went with Jared Goff. I feel like he just looks like a yes man. Like you were saying, like he's just like the whitest guy. It's just like, yeah, he looks the exact same. I mean, you could say like there's a comparison. They're both pretty good, and they don't really win like in playoffs and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I just think they're just total attitude, and they just look so nerdy or something. I don't know. It's like yes sir, I'll go get traded to the Lions. Yes sir, no problem. Like he said like he shook the owner's hand or something like that after he got traded. Like, and instead of saying like
Baker
"Screw you,
Mayfield
man."
would never do that.
No, he's not shaking anybody's hand.
Yeah,
What about Peyton Manning?
Peyton
Who that?
Manning.
I can start with this. I'm going with Joe Burrow on this one. It was Tony Romo that was talking about it on whatever game it was. That this guy is actually a really smart guy. Maybe it was obvious to everybody else, but that's one of his biggest attributes is being able to pick apart a defense just by knowing where to go with the ball and making a quick decision. And that's what I think about with Peyton Manning. Now, Joe Cool's way cooler than Peyton, obviously, but
Definitely.
Yeah, way less forehead.
Yeah, a lot less forehead. I went with Justin Herbert. I feel like he it's kind of like it's awesome. Well, one, it's just fun to see him run. Like Justin Herbert doesn't do it, but he'll sneak it out there. Peyton Manning did the same thing. It was a lot of fun. But other than that, just like Joe Burrow, they pick apart defense. They throw the ball where it needs to go, and just a good quarterback.
Yeah. I'd like to preface my choice with saying that this was the hardest one for me because nobody came to mind instantly because of the kind of player Peyton Manning was. Obviously, Brady's the GOAT.
Yeah.
But there's people who can do comparable things with the football that I think almost nobody else on the planet has ever been able to do besides for Peyton Manning. With that being said, I had to have an answer. So I went with Justin Herbert as well. That guy
is... each other's sheets, huh?
Well, yeah, I had to cheat off at least one. I mean, I can't get away with doing this all on my own. That's a lot of work. But no, I mean, Herbert's just
good football
an incredible football player. He really is. He doesn't win like Manning, but as far as just what I see on the field and the flashes, I'm a big fan of his, and I think that kind of outcome could be there where he's a consistent high 4,000-yard passer for a long time.
Yeah.
I know exactly who my comp is. Deshaun Watson. Because they both have one really big thing about them, that
big thing, yeah.
one real big well, maybe big, I haven't seen it. But there's a big deal going on about these guys. And they're off the field, shenanigans. I'll say that. That's where my mind went immediately.
That's fair.
Well, my mind went to the football field. And Josh Allen plays the same way as Ben. I'll never forget the time where Mike Tomlin was mic'd up and he went up to Ben and said, "No more John Wayne." No more John Wayne. And Ben says, "I only play one way, coach." And that's what Josh Allen is to me.
I agree with that.
I'm going to carry dudes on my back, whatever I got to do.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I was put on the spot for that, and that's just the first person. I think the stature, just being big, and but yeah, they kind of play the same way. It's just like we're playing my way, or like this is just what it is. We're playing the offense is going to be this. So.
You want me to do a check down to Dalton Kincaid?
Yeah.
No. I'm not doing it. I'm throwing it deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say this: the thing that I have like the strongest memories of with Ben was just throwing dudes off of him in the pocket. And I get that same thing from Josh Allen, where it's like guys like Kyler and Mahomes and Lamar, they're running away from guys. Yeah. Josh Allen's waiting for you to come, throwing you in the dirt, and then taking off. And that was Big Ben, except he wasn't taking off. He's lighting you up for 40 yards down the sideline.
Yeah. Last one, Michael Vick.
Yeah.
I'm going with Fields in this one. They both can run and they can't throw. It's pretty quick.
I think that's atrocious.
I think that the majority of Vick's career was similar to Justin Fields.
You guys both suck.
However, I went with the upside here. I'm going to go with those 2 or 3 years of Philadelphia Michael Vick.
Yes,
I went with Lamar Jackson.
Yes, sir.
There wasn't anybody more electric or struck fear into a defense more than Michael Vick. You can ask me. I watched the guy walk out of prison and throw for like 500 yards and 6 touchdowns against us in the opening week of football, and it was terrifying.
Yep.
Because if he could do that without actually training and playing football for 2 or 3 years, I was very scared of what was going to be coming.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they decided to call themselves the Dream Team, and everything fell apart. But
that was a perfect system for him too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's atrocious to say that he couldn't throw the ball, and maybe
who Vick?
Mike Vick, yeah. And to put him in the same place as Justin Fields, because Justin Fields can't throw the ball, but Michael Vick, dude, he could sling that thing. If there was a comparable comp, to me it would be like Cam Newton, because the dude could just whip that thing and then just run all over you. It's kind of like where I want Anthony Richardson to be, so that's why I picked him. I think he has, I feel like when he plays, he's electrifying to watch run, and he does well throwing the ball too. So I think of him as an Eagle because I'm an Eagles fan. So I remember Mike Vick as an Eagle and not really much of the Falcons.
Right.
If I was going to say if I wanted to pick a Madden player like Mike Vick, then I'm saying Lamar looks like Michael Vick on Madden.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the closest thing in my
Yeah.
opinion to that exact same kind of style of runner. But
Dude, I like the thing I loved about Dick though was that visor. He looked really cool.
that's what I'm saying, dude. He was just a
Yeah,
terrifying dude. This guy walked right out of prison and was the best player on the field. That is terrifying.
Yeah. He was. Would you say he's a dog?
I would have called him an eagle.
Yes, sir.
I'll never forget the time he scored like 55 points on Monday Night Football.
That was. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
was
that
the
was
one.
that was opening
It
week
was the
against
opening
us.
week with Chip
the-
Kelly.
I don't. The time I'm thinking about was not opening week. He did score a bunch of
He
points.
did get
opening
to
week.
play on Tuesday, I believe.
No, there was another one.
Yeah. It was the first one. It got like snowed out. And they had to play on Tuesday. But no, I'm pretty sure that's the one with like Shady and Djax. Like that was. I'm pretty sure the one.